Hey guys, it's Sebastian from AskSebby, and today we are going to look at some limited time offers and promotions for American Express cards to account for the fact that we're probably not traveling for the next few months. Before we dive in, as usual, is to give this a thumbs up. It really does help with that algorithm to help with discovery, and if you really like the channel, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. As always, for this video and for most of the other videos I do, there's going to be a blog post down below, so if you get bored or if you are in a rush today and you just want to skim it, that's probably going to be your best resource. Given the nature of this video, I will put some timestamps up because you might want to hop to your specific card, but be aware that you might want to compare these different cards because one card might actually be better than the other card for something like US supermarkets. The general layout is going to be membership reward earning points, and then Delta, and then Marriott, and then Hilton. Hilton does have some interesting offers for their cards, so it might make sense to stick around for that, especially if you are someone that wants to do an aspirational trip. This could really change the game for people who want to go to the Maldives or to Bora Bora or Seychelles or one of those other expensive places where you can use those nights. With that said though, let's start off with the American Express Platinum card. For each of the Platinum cards you have, you're going to get a $20 per month credit from May until December 2020 for both streaming as well as wireless telephone services purchased directly from a US provider. So $20 for both of those different categories. 160 times 2 different credits, that's $320 in value. I'll put up a list of the streaming services that work, but it's pretty much everything that you would expect. Disney+, Netflix, Hulu, as well as YouTube Red being obvious ones. For US service providers, it's pretty much the big ones as well, but be aware that you cannot use this to purchase phones. Outside of that though, that's pretty much it. So the format is going to be me walking through the benefit and then me giving you my thoughts. I think this is a pretty good one if you are someone that has the card. If you are someone considering it, it really does depend on whether you're going to have a domestic trip in the next few months. The reason I say that is because yes, you are getting $320 in value, and I feel like most people can very easily use that. But if you can't use the $200 travel incidental credit, it does discount the benefit that you're really getting from the card. Put another way, are you getting the Platinum card and then an additional $320 in value, or are you getting $320 in value but you're missing out on another $200 from the card? I think it really does depend on the opportunity cost that you're taking in order to get the card. If you're someone under 524, I'd probably go for those cards first just because I wouldn't want to leave value on the table, but it really does depend on you. I'd strongly recommend playing with a few calculators. We have a few on our website, and also just running the numbers to see what the real financial impact is. If the card does make sense, or if any of the other cards that we talk about later in the video make sense, a very easy way to support the channel would be to use our referral link down below. It's either going to be mine, Mandy's, or someone else who directly helps with the channel. As usual, make sure that the link is actually competitive to the public offer, but otherwise, very easy way to support the channel. Next is going to be the Platinum Business Card, which is going to get similar statement credits. So $20 a month for wireless services, but instead of streaming, you're getting an additional $20 a month for US shipping. I'll put up a screenshot for what works for shipping, but pretty much everything else you would expect in terms of FedEx and UPS. The other major benefit is that you're getting an additional $200 in statement credits for Dell. So you're going to get an additional $100 for the first half of the year until June 30th, 2020, and then an additional $100 for the latter half of the year. So in total, you're going to be getting $400 in Dell credits for 2020, which I think is actually pretty good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with these changes given my circumstances. I feel like a lot of the other Platinum card holders wouldn't really be as happy though for the business side, just because they're very high spenders on average and they'd rather have higher multipliers than some credits that they can use. I do have a few REI returns I need to make though that I can't return in store because stores are not currently open, so having that shipping credit is going to be a pretty useful thing for me. Moving on to the Green card, they're going to be adding $80 in statement credits, $10 per month from May until December 2020. I think this one's okay, but it's not really moving the needle for me. If you are someone who has this card, if you didn't really care about the other benefits, then maybe that's fine, but I feel like it's not really offsetting the credits as much as with the Platinum card. The Green card does have more useful categories though for spending purposes, so there's also that. The two cards missing from this are going to be the Gold card and the Gold Business card, and I'm not really too surprised given that the multipliers and the marketing of the card isn't really as travel oriented as the Green card and the Platinum card. You're still earning Forex back for US supermarkets as well as for restaurants, so there is that since people are still eating. But on the note of the $100 travel incidental credit, I wish that they either extended it or made it usable for other things such as for takeout. Not too much of a fan here, but my understanding is that this card might also be a money loser for American Express. They might be using it as their Chase Sapphire reserve to bring people into the ecosystem rather than something that they make a lot of money from. On the note of making money, if you are someone that wants 2 free stocks, consider looking into something like Webull, where you can get that by depositing $100. I could hype it up and say that you're going to get a $1,400 stock because technically that's the maximum value of the stocks over there, but given the math, given the expected value, it's closer to about $30 in value for those 2 free stocks. Still though, I think if you're bored while watching Netflix with your new streaming credit, consider signing up. It really does support the channel. Moving on to Delta, you're going to earn Forex miles back for US supermarkets for May, June, and July 2020. So this one is a bit of a mixed bag, and I think it depends on the other cards you have and whether you're chasing status and also how much you're spending. Generally speaking, if you have the gold card, so the MR earning one that we just talked about, then I don't really think that this is as interesting. I'd rather have 4x MR points back over 4x Delta points, and I think most people would agree. The rationale being that the MR points give you a bit more flexibility, and there's probably better use cases for those MR points, even if you are someone that wants to fly Delta One suites. On the flip side, if you are someone that doesn't have that card, but you have the Delta Blue card, then this is a pretty good promotion because on a no annual fee card earning Forex back for US supermarkets, that's pretty solid. For the Delta Platinum and the Delta Reserve, if you are spending $25,000 or $30,000 respectively for the year, then it might make sense in order to hit the status boost. So for Platinum, you can do that twice, and then for the Reserve, you can do that 4 times. I don't really think that most people who are in that situation though are spending that much on supermarkets. Most people going for those boosts probably have business spend rather than buying Kobe beef steaks every week. Good for the Delta Blue, but for the rest of them, not too interesting. Moving on to Marriott, for the Brilliant card, you're going to earn 6x Bonvoy points back on up to $7,500 in spend for US supermarkets from May until July 2020. I think this one's fine. If you need to top off for a specific redemption, then this is pretty good, but otherwise you're probably better off using the gold card. So for example, if you're going to Omaha and you're a bit shorter on points, then this is fine. The other major benefit is that you can now use the $300 Bonvoy statement credit for hotels for US restaurants, including takeout and delivery. You can do this for June, July, and August 2020. So to me, I think this is the game-changing element just because otherwise a lot of people would not be able to use that credit, and the credit does make up a lot of that annual fee. Earn rate, I think it's fine if you need to top off, but otherwise that statement credit, I'm a big fan. If you are someone that has the personal Marriott card from American Express, the one that's grandfathered, the one that you can't apply for anymore, you also end up getting the benefit for the spending. The final set of cards is going to be the Hilton cards, and this gets pretty interesting because I'm not really sure what they're looking to do with lifetime status. Side note, if you have not liked the video yet, give it a thumbs up. So starting off with the no annual fee Hilton card, the main promotion that they have is that the points that you earn through purchases between May 1st until the end of the year are going to be considered base points towards elite status and towards lifetime diamond status. So by itself, it's not too interesting, but the big question is, why would they be doing this? I guess for me, maybe I'm concerned that they're going to make diamond status harder to get. Otherwise, there's not really a purpose for them to offer a promotion like this. I hope it doesn't happen because I really do like my diamond status, but that is something that's going on in my head. Moving into the Surpass card, so this is going to be the $95 card. Same thing with the bonus points earned from May 1st until December 31st. But in addition to this, you're also going to earn 12x points back for US supermarkets from May until July 2020. Earning rate 1 is pretty good, but we do end up going back to the gold card, which is a very consistent theme in this video because the gold card is still very powerful. The rationale being that the 4x MR points that you earn, you can oftentimes wait for a promotion where you get 3 Hilton points per 1 MR point. This means that with the gold card, you're earning 4 points, and then when it's promotion time, 3x points, so you're getting 12x Hilton points for the gold card. So this is a good promotion. It's not a bad one by any means, and I do think that they did a pretty good job here, but it doesn't move the needle as much as you think it does. A lot of people look at the multipliers, but they don't really look at the effective value of the points. So good promotion, but not life-changing by any means. The main advantage here though is that if you are someone that wants to top off of a lot of Hilton points, then this might make a bit more sense, because if you spend $15,000 on the card, on the Surpass card, you do end up getting a weekend night, which, moving on to the Aspire card, is no longer just a weekend night. So for the Aspire card, you're earning 12x back on US supermarkets from May until 2020, similar to the Surpass card. And also the base points are going to count towards lifetime status as well as elite qualifying status. Again, maybe I'm getting spooked here for no reason, but I don't know, it just feels weird to me that they're bringing that up. Probably a bad analogy, but it's kind of like going to your significant other, your player 2, and telling them, I would never cheat on you, why would you even think that? And they never brought up anything. On their end, they're probably thinking, why did you bring that up? That's very weird. One of the other major benefits that you're getting with the card is that the $250 Hilton Resort credit can be used for US restaurants, including takeout and delivery, from June until August 2020. Similar to the Marriott Brilliant card, I think this is a good move because people need to use that credit anyways, and a lot of people aren't doing resort stays for the immediate future. I'm a bit surprised with this. I did expect an extension rather than just giving you the credit outright for delivery, but I'm a fan. The other major change that I hinted at is that for the weekend certificate nights, they're no longer weekend certificate nights. So any of these certificates that you still have, and then any of the additional ones that are issued to you throughout 2020, you can now use them not only on the weekends, but any day of the week. Also, any of the certificates that are issued from May 1st until December 31st of 2020 will be valid for 24 months instead of the usual 12 months. This also applies for the weekend certificate night that you end up earning with the Surpass card. So it gets pretty interesting, because if you are someone that wants to do one of these very expensive trips, the big problem is that if you're going all the way there, you don't really want to just stay for a weekend. You might want to stay for 4 or 5 days. The big problem typically is that you can only use up to 3 of these nights for the weekend, and then you have to dive into your points for the rest of it. This means that if you and your player 2 are both relatively high spenders, and you can justify this just because you were looking to pay a large amount anyways, honeymooners being a very good example, you could easily get 3 Aspire cards each, and that's going to end up being 6 nights. That probably sounds outrageous to a lot of people, because why would you pay almost $3,000 in annual fees? But if you are someone doing something like a honeymoon or a 10 or 20 year anniversary trip, it's not abnormal to spend $10 or $20 or $30,000 on that trip anyways. And if I can spend $6,000 or $3,000 in this case, substantially less, to offset some of the costs, it's a pretty good move to me. Put another way, I'd happily pay 25% of the retail price for a good bottle of whiskey, but if you're someone who doesn't like this stuff, then it doesn't make any sense. So first off, what's the sticker price? Second off, what are other people paying for this? And then third off, what are you willing to pay? End of the day, for most of this stuff, there's not really a right answer. It really does depend on how you value different things. And if you're someone who doesn't care about experiences, then these Hilton cards probably don't make sense. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. If you know anyone else who'd benefit from what we just talked about, share this with them. It'll probably help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.